In 1509, following a century of turmoil, England has stabilized under the rule of the legendary King Henry VIII. During his 38-year reign, he will marry 6 times, break with the Catholic Church, and fight several wars. Early in Henry's reign, the King of Scotland invades England. To secure his throne, Henry must master the rapidly changing nature of warfare while effectively running his country. The Scottish, led by King James IV, have invaded northern England and captured a number of strongholds. The English army is marching north to face them, but for the time being, English citizens must fend for themselves. We must defend against the Scottish raids and prevent Winchester from falling under the rule of King James. Protect your citizens or they'll be killed by the Scottish. You don't have any military units nearby and don't have time to train any, so we'll have to sound the alarm, which will bring our citizens to safety within the city. Now select the alarm button in the lower left panel. Good job. Citizens near the city will run to the nearest city, fort, or tower for safety. The citizens in hiding will fire arrows at their attackers. The Scots have had enough and are retreating. I think we are safe for a while, so we can send our citizens back to work. Select the All Clear button to send your citizens back to work. Good job. Now your citizens will return to where they worked before you sounded the alarm. The king knows of our situation, and we've been assured that reinforcements are coming. We must continue gathering resources while we wait for protection to arrive. We need to replace the woodcutters' camp that was destroyed in the raid. On the right side of our nation, there is a large forest far from Scottish eyes. Unfortunately, we can't establish a woodcutters' camp there because the forest is beyond our national borders, which is indicated by the red line. A nation cannot build outside its borders, so we will need to extend our borders. One of the best ways to increase your territory is by building new cities. Let's try to build one near the woods. Select one of your citizens. Select the Buildings button. You can see that the Build City option is grayed out. Some buildings require certain technologies before they can be built. If you move the mouse over the Build City button and read the help text, it states that building a city requires researching civics at the library. So let's go to the library and research civics. Research the first blue civics technology, city-state, at the library. Excellent work. With each blue civics technology you research, you can add an additional city to your nation. Now build a city near the forest on the right side of your nation. Your city is complete, and your national borders have been extended. Now most of the forest is within our territory and we can build a woodcutters camp. Build a woodcutters camp near the forest. Try to find a spot where 8 or 9 citizens can work. We now select the Rally Point button in the city's interface. Now left-click on your woodcutter's camp to set it as your rally point. New citizens created at the city will immediately start working at the camp. Good. Now all the citizens created at the city will go to work at the woodcutter's camp. If you create more citizens than there are openings, they'll move near the camp and wait for your command. Now create enough citizens at your new city to fill the woodcutter's camp to capacity. Remember to move your mouse over your woodcutter's camp to see how many you need. You can also use rally points on military buildings to have your newly created units gather near a strategic location. Our reinforcements have just arrived. We are saved from the Scots. The general claims there is no mistake. This is the entire reinforcement. These javelineers and a few light cavalry are all the English command could spare to send us. These outdated units won't be much good against the Scottish hordes. We'll need to advance our nation to the Gunpowder Age or our forces will be crushed by the Scottish army. We need to start gathering knowledge to advance to the Gunpowder Age. Knowledge is gathered by building universities and filling them up with scholars. So first, select a citizen and build a university. Universities generate some knowledge on their own, but need scholars to be fully effective. Select your university. We have just enough wealth to fill up the university with scholars. Build 7 scholars at the university. When a scholar is complete, they appear within the university. Each scholar in the university adds to your knowledge gathering rate. We filled our university to capacity, and we will gather enough knowledge soon to advance to the Gunpowder Age. However, we spent all our wealth on scholars. We need to start gathering more wealth to refill our coffers. You gain wealth by establishing trade routes with caravans between your cities. To build caravans, we need to first build a market. Build a market. Good. Now select your market. You can build caravans and merchants at the market. We want to create a caravan. When caravans are created, they're idle for a moment. They then find an available open route between cities and start to establish a trade route. With sufficient commerce research, a trade route can be established between any 2 cities. We currently have 2 cities, thus we only need 1 caravan to generate wealth from the trade route. If you want to generate more wealth, build more cities and caravans to travel between them. While we're waiting for the caravan to generate more wealth for us, we can start looking at other rare resources on the map. Besides the common resources of food, timber, metal, wealth, and knowledge, there are rare resources that we can also control. This is spice, a rare resource. Move your mouse over the spice for help text about the effect spice has on your nation. The help text says that we get a bonus for caravan income. This will help us generate even more wealth. We need to build a merchant to take advantage of the spice. We need to build a merchant to take advantage of the spice. Build a merchant at the market. Good job. Select your merchant and right-click the spice so your merchant can gather this rare resource. Units can automatically travel across water if you have a dock and 2 commerce technologies researched at your library. We have the needed requirements, so your merchant will pack itself into a boat and move across the water. Your merchant has set up shop and is now gathering spice for your nation. You have established wealth income by making a trade route between cities and received a bonus by sending a merchant to gather the rare resource spice. Good job. While we've been setting up our trade routes to gather wealth, our scholars have generated enough knowledge to upgrade to the Gunpowder Age. To advance in age, we need to do research at the library. Select your library. The top row of buttons in the library record your nation's progress through the ages. We're currently in the medieval age, and we want to advance to the Congratulations! Our nation has advanced from the medieval age to the Gunpowder Age. Among other advantages, advancing in age allows your units to be upgraded. Also notice that your buildings have changed their appearance to reflect your nation's new status. Select your barracks. The top row of units are ones currently available. Below each unit is its upgrade. Below the elite Javelinier is its upgrade, Arquebusier. Now let's upgrade our Javeliniers to modern units before King James attacks. Select the Arquebusier upgrade to start researching this new unit type. Note that all of your Javeliniers are now Arquebusiers. Whenever you research a unit upgrade, all of your old units will automatically upgrade to the new type. Our spies report preparations in Leicester to the north. I think King James has grown restless and is ready for battle. Move your entire military near your city of Winchester to prepare for the attack. The Scottish have arrived for the attack. Fight bravely for English honor, and do not let Winchester fall to the Scots. Remember to sound your alarm when the Scottish attack, so your citizens will run to safety and fire guns at the attackers. Congratulations! We have defeated the Scottish attack and survived against all odds. The First World War has left Europe decimated and bankrupt. In Germany, domestic upheavals trigger the rise of extreme nationalism, and the German war machine is rebuilt. When it becomes clear that Germany cannot be thwarted by diplomacy, after years of giving in to German demands, it is clear to England that their policy of appeasement has failed. Germany has invaded Poland and declared war on the free world. England can no longer watch passively while the free countries of Europe are conquered. We must declare war on the Germans and establish an alliance with the French. Click the diplomacy button in the bottom right corner of the screen. This is the diplomacy window. Each of our neighboring nations has a stance icon that represents our relationship with them. We are at peace with all our neighbors, as shown by the dove icon. Click the dove icon next to Germany to declare war on that nation. It costs wealth to start a war. Go ahead and pay the cost. Now we have declared war on the Germans, and the icon is changed from a dove to a sword to represent that. we need to set up an alliance with France. Select Premier Paul Renault to open up the negotiation window with France. Good. This is where we can make deals with the French. We want to form an alliance with France. Click on the Ally checkbox with the two hands shaking to indicate that you want to propose an alliance. After you have set the options you want, you can propose the offer to the other party. Click the Propose button to propose the alliance to France. The French have indicated they need food in return for an alliance. In the top left corner of the window is the interface to offer and demand resources during a negotiation. The buttons on the left will demand 100 resources. The buttons on the right will offer 100 resources. Click 5 times on the Food Offer button to give the French 500 food. The French want 500 food and need an alliance. Make sure you are offering 500 food and have Ally checked when you click the Propose button. The French want 500 food and need an alliance. Make sure you are offering 500 food and have Ally checked when you click the Propose button. The French want 500 food and need an alliance. Make sure you are offering 500 food and have Ally checked when you click the Propose button. The French want 500 food and need an alliance. Make sure you are offering 500 food and have Ally checked when you click the Propose button. The French want 500 food and need an alliance. Make sure you are offering 500 food and have Ally checked when you click the Propose button. Press the Propose button again to submit the new proposal. We have successfully negotiated an alliance with the French. Now we must put our agreement into action. Close the diplomacy window. Now we have an alliance with the French. Among other advantages, alliances allow their members to share line of sight. Members of an alliance can move into each other's territory without penalty and can set trade routes between our cities. The German attack on Paris is imminent. The French desperately need our help, so we will send reinforcements. Our troops are in place near Dover for the fight. To increase the effectiveness of our units, we should have a general nearby. Generals are created in fortifications, like the redoubt. Create a general at your redoubt. Generals have a number of special abilities that are useful in combat. They also automatically enhance the fighting ability of nearby units. We are to move our forces across the English Channel and rendezvous with a French armored car near the coast. Select all of your military. Now right-click the flag near the French armored car to have your units move across the English Channel. Your army has moved to the rendezvous point. We need to get into position for the German attack. The French force has gathered on the primary road to Paris in an effort to hold back the main assault. The French have requested that we position the English forces to guard Calais on the northern coast. We need to position our troops to defend Calais. Move them to the flag below the city. Your units may be more effective in formation. To set a formation, press and hold the right mouse button and move the mouse in the direction you want your units to face. A line indicates the direction. Move the mouse to position your troops and then release the right mouse button to move your units into that formation. We are now in position to defend Calais. We can use one of the general's special abilities to help our troops fight even better. We want to get a closer look at the general, so left-click on him to select him alone. The general has a number of abilities that he can use. Each of these abilities affect ground units nearby. Select the general's entrench ability. It takes some time for the general to entrench nearby units. Look at the bottom right of the screen and you'll see the progress. Generals use craft to perform their special abilities. The amount of craft is displayed by the blue bar near the general's health bar and in the bottom right corner of the screen. The troops around your general are now entrenched. As long as they don't move, they take less damage in battle. Giving them a move order cancels the entrenchments. The Germans have arrived. The French were not prepared to deal with the German tanks, and their army is getting torn apart. Now the Germans have sent a force to capture Calais. Well fought. We fared better than the French because we were entrenched and had anti-tank weaponry to fend off the German panzers. Although we have beaten off the first German attack, the French have been routed and Paris will soon fall. We must save our army and return to England. We need to quickly retreat to the coast and cross the channel back to England. Select all if the general has an ability that can help speed our retreat. Select the Forced March ability. The general's Forced March ability increases the speed of nearby units. Alas, your forces were defeated. We will now be in a much worse position to defend against Germany, but we must continue on. The battle for France has been lost, and the battle for Britain is about to begin. This will be a battle of air power. Germany must be stopped here. The Germans will need to destroy our fortifications along the coast before they can move their ground forces across the channel to attack. To do this, they'll need to establish air superiority over southern England and wipe out our installations with bombers. Our course of action is clear. We need to build air bases and fighter planes to defend against the impending German air attack. To build air bases and airplanes, we will need to start accumulating oil. Oil can be found beginning in the Industrial Age. To start gathering oil, we need to build oil wells over these oil deposits. Have your citizens build an oil well over each of the 3 oil deposits. Each well supplies oil, but we can generate even more by constructing an enhancement building, the oil refinery. Food, timber, and metal resources each have an enhancement building that increases the production of that resource. Build enhancement buildings when you want to improve your production rate. Build an oil refinery near London to increase our oil production. Good. Now notice that our oil production has substantially increased. We now have enough oil production to start creating air bases and airplanes. The Germans will most likely attack our fortifications near Dover, so we need to set up our air bases so they can easily protect this area. Have your citizens build 2 air bases near Dover. Now that we have some air bases, we can create fighters and bombers. Select one of your air bases. 2 kinds of airplanes can be created at an air base: fighters and bombers. Bombers are effective against buildings. Fighters are best at destroying other air units and ground troops. Since the Germans will send bombers to attack our cities and airfields, we need to create fighters for defense. Build 1 fighter at this airbase. When created, airplanes remain in the airbase until you send them on a mission. The fighter you have created is shown in the bottom right corner and is ready to go. Select the fighter on the right side of the screen. The bottom left panel shows the actions available to the fighter. Select the left click near the flag in the English channel to set the plane's destination. Watch your fighter as it flies off to patrol the area. Patrolling fighters will fly between their airbase and patrolling point and attack any unit that comes into range. Airplanes have a limited amount of fuel, shown by the blue bar over the fighter's health. When an aircraft's fuel is depleted, they will fly directly back to their home airbase to refuel. After your fighter lands, it will take some time to rearm and refuel from the journey. Then it will head out to patrol again. Some fighter planes from northern England have arrived to help us in our battle against the Germans. These reinforcements will help, but we still need more defenders. Fill both air bases with 10 fighters. The British Royal Air Force is ready for action. All your fighters should patrol near the coast of Dover so we can defend against the German air attack. Select all your fighters in each airbase and give them an air mission to patrol near Dover.